What's going on, everyone? This is Dalton James with The Crate, bringing you an exclusive interview with Mr. Ben Bostick.
Hello, Crate listeners.
And we've also got Mr. B. Morales, Mr. Braylen Smith with us.
What's going on, everybody?
Awesome. So I'll go ahead and start off the interview. We've looked at your Instagram. We've taken a listen to everything that you've got on Spotify. And I think my first question, just because I'm about to be getting married myself, is how does being married and having children affect the writing process?
I think it slowly affects it because the artistic process for me has always sort of followed life's twists and turns. So there's like a little bit of a lag in my creative output as compared to when I got married and everything.
Right.
Because I still had so many things in the back catalog to record when I got hitched that it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I started changing into less rowdy music, I suppose you would say.
Okay.
Though I still love the rowdy stuff.
Right. You have a song called "Feeling Mean." Being rowdy. Is it right that you just got a drink named after yourself?
There is a beer named after Feeling Mean. Yeah. This is at the Strange Duck Brewery in Commerce, they also named another beer after one of my songs, but it has never been recorded. So it's not worth publicizing because people are gonna be like, oh, let me listen to that one. And they can't.
Okay.
So I got a question for you, Mr.
Yeah, man.
Bostick. First of all, how you doing today? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
That's nice. So just a question I got for you. So what artists have inspired you?
Oh man, all of them. I'm a music freak, and I think I really got turned on to music back in like 5th grade or something. I can't remember. Like once you discover that you can listen to your own music, and you're not at the mercy of your older siblings or your parents and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
I dug in, man. I remember I'm 38, so we're talking back in like the mid 90s. So there's a lot of the alt rock and the original, like the first wave of like G-funk hip hop from the West Coast was huge when I was growing up.
Right.
And I mean, everything I could get my hands on. And then I started getting into like the Beatles around that time, which, for a songwriter is in the place to get your info,
Right.
So everything, man. And I listen to classical, I listen to jazz, I listen to anything I can get my hands on.
Yeah, it's all around the place. I get you.
Yeah.
You've been playing music for about how long now?
I've got my first guitar in 7th grade, so forever ago. My parents made me play violin first. I didn't come from a musical family. So when I said I wanted to play guitar, they were like, just join the school orchestra. And so they made me play the violin for 2 years. And then they got me my first guitar in 7th grade.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is violin something that you kind of still pick up? You're just like, it's like a little hat trick, or did you just completely ignore it?
It's done. I've never picked it up again. I still got it.
Really?
But it's done.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to play guitar so bad. At that time, I was huge into the Chili Peppers.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I just want to play Chili Peppers. That's all I wanted. There was no violin.
Okay. So you're talking about your musical influences. You just recently released a cover for "Stand By Me."
I did. Yeah.
What made you want to do "Stand By Me"? Because I heard it, and your take on it with that raspiness is just awesome.
Thank you. Well, I had to do a concert at a nursing home for a Valentine's Day concert, and I had to learn a bunch of love songs that older folks would know.
Right.
And so I learned, some like old Sinatra tunes and all sorts of songs to appeal to older people. And one of them was "Stand By Me." And just the way that the arrangement came together, and I just felt like it sounded It sounded pretty good. It sounded better than something I just threw together for a concert. And then I started playing it at some other gigs, and people would just start getting up and slow dancing. People would like come over to me and be like, "Man, you got to record that." So I got so much encouragement from people. I said, maybe I should.
Okay.
It's my first cover I've ever like put out on Spotify, which is interesting.
Do you think that it's been pretty well received so far? It's pretty new, isn't it?
Yeah, it just came out Friday, so
Okay.
And people are digging it so far.
Nice.
It's got. I was just before we started this, I was looking at the analytics. You can look on the Spotify app, and it'll show you where people are listening. Everybody is like, all the listens are coming from Brazil. I have no idea how that happened.
Okay. So then going along with that, I'm very interested with new artists and getting into Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Spotify is a tool to really propel new artists, or do you think that there's so much content on there that it's kind of hard to get recognized?
I think there's no easy answer to that,
right?
Because it is the place to get recognized, but there's also 60,000 songs a day that go up now. I think it's the current number. So how do you break through 60,000 songs a day, And for me, I had very few listens for a long time, and just slowly over the past 6 years or whatever, however long it's been since I put out my first record, it's just slowly grown. And I think because I've consistently put out stuff at least once a year, that allows people to get the updates when it goes on to Discover Weekly or Release Radar, or all whatever their algorithmic things are. So that it has helped me grow an audience a little bit. Financially, it's a non-factor because they pay so little.
Right.
But it's cool. It's cool to see that last year, I can't remember, something like 500,000 people or 500,000 streams on my songs, which is crazy to me. It's insane that 500,000 people or 500,000 streams are happening to my songs. So it's cool, but it hasn't opened up any big doors or anything. I also don't have crazy amount of streams. You look at Drake and his 70 billion streams. That's a totally different ball game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So would you say patience is just the key when releasing music and putting out music?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a real studio hound. I just love recording stuff. So it's harder for me not to put out stuff because it completes the process for me. I come up with the song, and then I'll play it live for a while, then I record it, and then I'll put it out, and then I'm sure I can be on to the next thing. I don't like to dwell on a song for forever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to, I just want to touch on something real quick. You played at a nursing home?
Yeah, man.
So because starting out touring is a huge thing. It's so when do you go I'll play at a nursing home?
Well, I do all sorts of little sort of side gigs that aren't concerts,
Right.
So I'll do private events. I'll do birthday parties for people that just want to hire me to play a private party, corporate events, nursing homes. There's all these little things that are ways for live gigging musicians to make a little dough on the side. So I do that all the time, and they're fun. Nursing homes are super fun because a lot of them are, their day is watching TV or going to book club. So when you show up and you sing to them and you're excited to be there, they love it. I mean, and that's, for a performer, when people are enjoying your music, that's as good as it gets. So I love playing gigs like that.
Okay.
So another question I got for you. So what made you decide to move to Georgia?
Well, because LA is so expensive. Is the
Yeah.
short.
Right. Especially with gas prices now.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, my wife and I were living out there, and we were young, and like we didn't have any cares. And LA is so fun when you're young because there's everything in the world is there.
Right.
Like if you want to party, you can party. You go to the beach, you go to Mexico, everything's there. The mountains are right there. But when you have kids and like you need a different pace of life, you gotta be rich to make it work in LA.
Wow.
Right.
Either that, like living in a dump, and we can't do that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Completely understandable.
So you moved to Georgia. What brought you to Georgia? You know, out of all the 50 or 49 other states, why
Right.
Georgia?
Well, I'm originally from South Carolina, so this is a little closer to home. And my folks live in Atlanta,
Okay.
which is for grandparents around was a big decision. And my wife works in the entertainment industry, so Atlanta is just it checked all the boxes. It's like close to family, cost of living is good, and entertainment industry's here, music's here. Like it's good. It's the place.
And about how long did it take you from making the move to really start putting things into gear?
It happened pretty quick. When I got here, I entered like the Eddie's Attic songwriting contest. Do you know about this?
No.
There's a venue in Decatur called Eddie's Attic, which is a famous like acoustic singer-songwriter spot, and it's where like John Mayer like sort of broke out of, Sugarland, Tyler Childers like won their contest. So anyway, I won their like songwriting contest, which is somewhat like of a it'll open some doors. So when I got that, I could get into some gigs pretty quickly because people knew who I was on that little scene. And actually, one of the first places I played was in Carrollton at Printer's Ale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We haven't been over to Printer's
We
Ale.
are big with Printer's Ale here at Wolf.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was before the pandemic. We moved here like Labor Day 2020, I guess. No, 2019. So it was right before the pandemic hit. So I started getting everything going, and then everything shut down. So I haven't played there now since probably March of 2020. I got to get back out there.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I'll be the first one at that show.
All right.
So how do you feel like the pandemic has affected you and your music career?
It was very scary. I'll admit that, because we moved here and basically sunk our life savings into buying a new house.
Right.
And then we also had our second baby like in February, right before the pandemic. So we were just like, we knew we were going to be financially strapped for a while, but I had all these gigs lined up and it was going to be cool. I had some festivals, and then everything hit the fan. So that was scary.
Yeah.
But people in that beginning part of the pandemic you could do these Facebook concerts or live stream concerts, and people were really generous and helped us through. And then I started to get on this circuit of doing private front porch concerts where people would hire me to play like on their front porch, and all the neighbors would come out. Mm-hmm. And people they knew the artists needed help, so they got us through that part. You know, it was all through the generosity of fans, and it made it happen. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, the pandemic it changed a lot of things.
Yes,
yeah,
a lot.
It changed a lot.
So, along with the pandemic, you know, we saw a lot of artists kind of go back into the studios and kind of fine tweak their sounds. And would you say that was kind of one of your experiences, or have you pretty much, you know, been keeping the same pace?
No, I definitely spent some more time in the studio. I became more interested in mixing, especially the technical side of production during the pandemic, because I had the time, you know. And you go down this rabbit hole. You're like, what is this plugin that people are using on here? And then you look at this tutorial, and this guy doesn't really know what he's doing. So you go to another tutorial, and by the time you like you finish, you're like 3 hours deep into looking at an EQ tutorial. So I definitely got way more into mixing and production during that time. And I started a little side project during that time as well called Skip Tracy. It's my production handle where I do all sorts of other producing with other singers and stuff, which has been really fun.
Nice. Okay. So I'm looking at your Instagram, and you post pretty frequently, which is sign of a good promoter. One of the things that I stumbled across was you making mention of how happy you are being a independent artist, not having a label. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you think would be the benefits of being independent rather than going on a label?
So I have a little bit of a glimpse into the other side of it because of my wife having worked with big artists. And unless you are like Jay-Z, you don't make your own decisions. That's just like, so as for a person like me who is like, I'm big into the music part. I love music. I don't really like care about the whatever the fame and fortune part of it. Fortune would be nice, but the fame part, like I'm not trying to be famous. I just want to be able to make the music that I want to make when I want to make it, So I've seen observe from the sideline, a lot of people's artistic vision being compromised for things that have nothing to do with art or their own personal vision. And I'm just not, I couldn't do it. I couldn't wait to be on a 3-album cycle. And I mean, a 3-year album cycle. That's like the thing. Every 3 years you put out a record. And there's some people who buck that trend. Like The Weeknd puts out stuff like every day.
Right.
But it's just not for me. Like being part of that machine is just not for me. So it's very nice as an independent artist to just be like, I'm going to put out a Stand By Me cover tomorrow. And then you just do it.
Okay.
Go
ahead, Braylen.
Okay. Yeah. I gotta so just with the boom of TikTok, do you see yourself promoting yourself on TikTok anytime soon? If you have
I've never ever even downloaded TikTok.
That's
wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about it, but I just would rather spend my time making music. It's like I promote as little as possible to stay like a little bit on the scene. Like, other than that, I'm going to try to attract people by making good music. Right. And I put my music up on these thing called music libraries. Y'all know about those?
No.
These are these sites where, like in the old days, if you made a movie, you would hire somebody to score your movie, or you would like license songs to a big company. But now there are these sites called music libraries where you can put your music on these sites, and people who are making movies or YouTube videos or whatever can go there and they can license your song for like a one-time fee, and they can use it in their video or their whatever commercial. And they don't have to go through all of like the negotiations. It's just like a straight up one-time fee. And so through that, my music gets used in a lot of places. And so people will find my music by hearing it in some random YouTube video. You have no idea how many people will contact me and say, I found your music listening to a rare gun show in England. You're like, what the heck? Like, and it's just because my music's available and out there that people hear it. That's honestly the best promo of everything that I've ever done. That's the only thing that consistently gets people to my music is people hearing it in other projects.
Yeah, that's how I find out about a lot of music myself too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've mentioned being influenced by Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Beatles, and you've mentioned Jay-Z, just name a few artists. What took you to country?
So I've always been into country. Like I love country music, just like I've loved everything growing up. And the short version of the story is that I was in a 12-piece funk band in LA. And then at one of our like after parties, I had I think it was like an iPod, like an actual iPod on shuffle. And one of my demos for a country song came on, and the bass player in the band was like, "Who is this? This is amazing." And I was like, "Oh, this is me. Just press next." And he was like, "Dude, we have to play this." And so I can't even remember what song it was, but he's the one who like really pushed to start a country act. And we did it. People would like immediately dug it. And because I have a baritone voice, there's not much option for what genre to sing. The country's like the only baritone voice thing, unless you want to go into crooning or something. So it was natural. Since I grew up in the South, it was what you hear growing up, My mom was a big country fan. My dad does not listen to country at all, but he's come around a little bit.
Awesome. You got another question, Braylen?
None off the top of my head. No, you got one?
Just looking at my list of questions here. No, I think that about wraps up everything we wanted to ask you. It was great, man. It's been great getting to talk to you. Where can people find your music? Where can people find you?
You can find my music on all the streaming platforms. You can find me at Mr. Ben Bostick on Instagram. That's Mr. Ben Bostick. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Ben Bostick, benbostick.com. If you Google Ben Bostick, I'll come up, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, I'm Dalton James, and with me,
B. Morales.
And thank you so much for taking this time. And we hope to hear from you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for calling.
Not a problem.